So, yeah, hi. We're back
Yeah.
for another one, I guess. Do we just do an intro? What is this?
I want to ask Chat for another round of give us podcast name ideas. Now that you've been listening to this for months,
Oh God.
you should be experts at knowing what to call it, Chat.
Should they?
Yes. They
I don't
should
know.
be. They know everything that this is about. They have the outsider perspective that we are lacking.
That's surprising because I don't know what this is about.
Look, I'm just hoping that they do. This is why I'm mentioning the outsider perspective. You know, sometimes that is very valuable when you get stuck creatively. You know, you got to bring out
Maybe it's the podcast, because I
the
literally
podcast
thought
that is
about it.
everything. You cannot call
Yeah,
it something because it
thought
cannot be
about it
pigeonholed.
in the last like 7 days or so. Even it somehow came up in my mind how it when I used to watch TV shows as a teen. There used to be this joke of high-end places like restaurants that were weird because they do stuff with liquid nitrogen, or they treat you poorly simply for the experience, but it costs a lot of money. Those places where it's so high society that it just feels like the experience you get, even if it feels shit, it's valuable because it was expensive and it's exclusive. And how a lot of those places would end up in satire, though, being called the place,
Yeah,
of
true.
or like something incredibly nondescript. And yeah, that's so common
The
now, though, that I feel like,
triangle.
yeah, but if you do this now, there's way too many places that are just called place or something. I think in the menu, isn't the restaurant that they eat at with that maniacal chef, isn't that also just called place or something?
I have to look it up because I don't recall this. The Menu movie. Damn, that was a fucking whack movie though.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Restaurant
But
name
surely that's trivia
Hawthorne.
somewhere. Well, Hawthorne.
Hawthorne.
Okay. It's on the edge of being pretentious
Yeah, but
because
it's just a name. It's like it's
yeah.
not that pretentious, I guess,
Hmm.
compared to like if you call it the something. Das Podcast, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that exists. Who knows? There's a podcast called Das with an exclamation mark. It's possible that this is just SEO cemetery territory, like purgatory. You're never going to be discovered in any way because it's so unfindable.
You know, we kind of are already there with
What do you
everything
mean
else.
with everything else?
Like what is it that we do that is like so discoverable?
Well, I mean, if you Google my or your name, there's not that many people, you know.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I just don't feel very relevant, okay?
Yeah, but that's like something that's a different story. I don't want to go into therapy right now.
Can't believe you would not be my therapist. You have therapist me off.
Yeah, the relevant podcast. Yeah, the hip.
You
And
know,
cool.
I didn't promote the podcast yet, which is another thing that I should probably do.
Well, you complain about not being discoverable, and then you don't promote.
Well, though maybe it's I don't know. Maybe there's a reason. The promotional podcast. Anyways, can somebody else then rad you off for ideas?
I hate the awkwardness of asking, no matter how big the stream is, right? If there's just an abundance of lurkers and you ask a question, I hate putting myself into the position of waiting for an answer from chat, and I regret it every time I do it.
Yeah, but right now
That's
there's two of us, and technically I'm also doing something else while I'm waiting for them to answer, so it doesn't really bother me.
Well, I'm sitting here and I'm shifting from my left to my right foot.
Also, I'm trying to lean into the awkwardness that is waiting for somebody to answer because I don't really want to feel like I can never take a break from talking on stream. Or, like I want to have moments of quiet where it's not bad that there is a moment of quiet, So if that means waiting for an answer to a question or just like, I'm like, well, I want to pay attention to something and not talk over it. It's fine. I see what you're doing. I see what. Nicely done, Shalama. Nicely played.
How do you like them bananas, huh?
Yeah, they're pretty good bananas.
Oh God, I'm dead. Oh man.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm really side note me with having to work in a place soon. Probably when I find a place that is an office. Many places I have worked in the past, or where I would probably end up working, don't have AC, and somehow people are supposed to come into the office and be productive. But I am so incapable of doing any work when it's like 30 degrees because my brain is like, and then the manager is like, have you finished this thing that we needed? We have a meeting like tomorrow, and the customer really needs to like have this stuff like set up. And
You're literally that gif of that really wrinkled alien person.
kinda. And I don't know how people cope with it. I don't understand how people are productive in like 30 plus degrees Celsius in places that are heated up more because they don't have AC and the brickwork is not insulated. I mean,
Yeah, I think it
I don't know.
depends on the building you're in because like I went into the office today and it wasn't that bad there. But I know that there are places, especially maybe if they're on the last floor or something like that, where it's too fucking hot, and then you're just fucking unlucky. And I don't know how you could function in a place like that.
Yeah, I don't know. My last job, I worked in the same room that had the back room be the server room that always got way hotter than everything else, which had the door kept open because otherwise it would heat up too much.
Well, that sounds like an unlucky situation I was just describing.
Yeah, it was incredibly shit. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear.
And when I walked down to the part where my work was from the greenery that was around it, it's like it all immediately went up like 5 degrees just being around the area where my office was because there was no trees or anything. So it was way hotter just by being there.
Yeah, that's also gonna suck. Like maybe see if the office where you're potentially to work in is in a place that is like shielded from the sun, or you probably could just like, if you're scouting for work, you could inspect how the working conditions are, right?
Yeah,
because
I don't
you know
think
that this is a factor.
to be that picky. Yeah.
Well, but otherwise you have to be upfront with your bosses and be like, yeah, I won't be productive here in summer.
Yeah, like I'll work from home.
Yeah,
basically.
I mean, if their offices are really bad in summer, they have to accommodate you somehow. You know, it's not your fault either that you're like feeling really bad when it's too hot and they don't have offices that are,
I don't know,
comfortable at least.
I remember passive aggressively like at my last job, it was 32 degrees or so in my office. I was the only person in the office. Everybody else wasn't in the office. And I passive aggressively sent a photo of the temperature gauge that I had put on my desk and posted it in the WhatsApp group of my work. And nobody reacted.
Oh my God. Wait, but like how much was it showing?
Like 32 or something in my office.
Oh God.
It's just melting and I couldn't. I was basically just in the office because I had to be, and I barely was able to get any work done. And instead of being like, yeah, you can go home with your laptop and work from there. No, nothing.
Wait, but did you post it without saying anything, or did you also say something like?
I did say something about it being really incredibly hot. I don't know. The funny thing is that my job literally had like there was nothing in my old job that needed me to be in office. The only thing that was there was that they preferred having everybody in office. Anything happened over the internet and calls anyway. There was no reason at all to be in person.
Great.
Just because the boss liked looking at people.
That's the worst, man. That is so stupid. I would hate that kind of thing that just works on the social pressure and not because there is an actual good reason for the business to have the people there. Like that's, I don't know. That's upsetting. That just these bosses get this idea of, yeah, I know how's the right way to run a business, okay? I know that people have to be there. You know, you can't convince me otherwise.
Yeah. Anyway, anybody finally come up with a good name, huh?
Yeah, we're
we can
doing
start
this
this?
chit chat to just wait until you guys give us a good idea here. It's literally Shalama's work WhatsApp group all over again, but just on Twitch chat.
Yeah, nobody answers.
Idea for what? An idea for naming this podcast. And we're not going with the podcast, the promotional podcast, the relevant podcast. Sorry, Ratty.
We could call it the one about hot dogs. I don't know, anything but hot dogs. Hot Dog Baby, the podcast.
You know what? But then we're kind of stealing that whole line. I don't know.
I don't know. We can call it a German and a Romanian walk into a podcast.
I mean, I guess that's like, that would probably work and is not taken.
It would abbreviate as AGA WEAP.
That's terrible.
It's absolutely atrocious.
Hot dog ice cream.
Hot dog ice cream. Names are hard podcast.
I need to sneeze.
Well, lucky you. Wow. Bless.
Thank you.
Wow.
I know people have buttons for not sneezing live, but you know.
Yeah.
Get a grip.
Yeah.
Get a grip. Wow. That's kind of fun. Kind of funny, Ratty.
Yeah, that's not terrible.
But we kind of, like, it would be good if we still had the I in there for those who don't get it.
Yeah, but get a grip is 100% taken.
Probably. And get a GRP is too close.
We did have a name at some point that already existed but had been discontinued a few years ago, but I don't remember the name of that.
I have no idea.
Me neither. I just remember that was the case.
The official monkey podcast.
I'm pretty sure there's already monkey news and monkey podcast stuff.
Also, why monkey? You may rather do raccoon, if anything. But then people come here expecting raccoons.
Earpers, the podcast.
Yeppers?
Earpers.
Yeppers.
No, earpers.
Earpers.
Yeah.
The earpers.
And then
I can't find one.
Then it's the Earpers network, and the logo is literally just the pepe with the earpers.
But there's Buffy Earpers.
That's probably is actually a name or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Buffy Earpers is actually Buffy Rewatch podcast for Winona Earp fans.
Wow. Yeah, that's very specific.
And then there's this Earper Life on Apple Podcasts.
And we can also call it People Listen, People Podcast.
People Podcast.
So that already seems like it might exist.
Yeah, it seems to kind of exist.
Yeah, People Podcast 4 years ago.
People, why you take the names?
Yeah, I don't know. Do you really want to wait right now?
Yeah, I'm waiting because my brain is fucking fried.
Oof. I think I'm too impatient. Podcast number 2.
Okay, Ratty's leaving. Now we can start.
Okay. I don't know. I don't think we are going to fix this situation now with the name. I don't.
Nah,
and I have no hope
not.
of ever finding a name, honestly.
Well, you shouldn't lose hope. Somebody's going to find a name somewhere.
Keeping up hope requires effort, though.
Does it? I guess it does.
Well, Yomp had it easy because they literally just, the suggested name is just
they all had the old Goon Squad.
Yeah, it's just a ripoff. 0 Degrees is easy because they all have no degrees.
I don't even get why it's called 0 Degrees.
Because none of them have a degree.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah, and people ask them questions even though they barely have any qualifications.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a pretty good premise.
What is Bryony and Kirsty's podcast? Something about being comfortable, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's the one about the dreams they had. What was it called?
Comfort Zone, yeah. That's
Comfort Zone. Indeed.
Yeah, we can be Discomfort Zone.
True. I mean, their podcast is just called Kirsty and Bryony's Comfort Zone, and surely there's a million Comfort Zone podcasts. I guess you don't have to be totally unique, but...
True. Yeah, I mean, there's not like most people will copyright their podcast name.
We could always still have the Shalancast,
Yeah.
just do the good old trusty name combination, Shalancast.
Yeah. I mean, it's also not impossible to rename a podcast. If it's the same RSS feed at some point, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, but the thing is, I just want to have a name for it so we can say the name of the thing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what Red's asking or saying.
The other podcasts are all thematic. That's why they have those names.
Yeah, but like Briany's and Kirsty's, yeah, it's pretty thematic, but I don't know. I guess 0 Degrees, I guess it also kind of has a theme, yeah. Maybe we need more of a theme, but our theme is shit.
Shit?
Just random shit, random shit that's interesting. The interest thing, my interest thing channel.
Yeah, it's like a digest or whatever, I guess, in terms of magazine.
The Degen Digest.
Yeah, Degen Digest, sure.
I mean, is there a Degen Digest?
I don't know.
Oh, there is?
Probably, yeah. I mean, that seems like
just found their fucking Twitter page. Degen Digest Pod. But it's got 39 followers.
Meme Digest probably also exists. That's probably more followers than we have, to be fair.
I mean, we don't even have a page.
Yeah, exactly.
A podcast of unnecessary importance, yeah. Now, Degen Digest seems really small, and it's
also
not running anymore.
Anybody that, like me, plays Final Fantasy 14, you can now update your game because like a few hours ago they went live with the update. It's still not available to play, but you can update your game. This probably affects one person that is listening to this, though.
Well, I mean, it affects me too. Well, actually not, because I don't even have that expansion.
It does affect you because it doesn't matter what expansion you have. You still have to update the game.
Oh, right.
Like, that's not how it works.
But is the game playable right now? Or are they still offline with the servers?
No, it's gonna be like more than 24 hours till it's live again.
Oh, man. No, that's fine.
Yeah.
I have other stuff to play. But it still sucks being taken away the possibility,
Yeah, I know. It's the thing of, oh, I can't do this, but now I wanted to do it, even though I've been putting it off for weeks.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it is. People will moan and bitch about something that they've not taken advantage of for a long time just because it's been taken away. And now they have the FOMO.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm having. The FOMO of Final Fantasy that I only play maybe once or twice a week at best.
Yeah. That's how people work. Our brains are terrible. We still have to wait. I don't know because I'm.
No, we're starting. We've started.
Okay. Jesus Christ. Do we do an actual intro then?
I don't know. All of this we already kind of talked about.
None of this is usable. None of this is usable. This is all just garbage gibberish.
Okay, fine.
None of this is salvageable. This is the most unlistenable thing ever.
Yeah, but you know what? I haven't even uploaded a single thing to YouTube in fucking months. Like, I don't have time.
But this is still, eventually.
Eventually, yeah.
Well, then why are we doing it even?
Well, because I thought maybe you're going to step in and help me.
You never asked me.
I did ask you.
Not really, no.
Can't believe you would say that.
At least it didn't register to me.
Yeah, that's different than never asking,
Well, I can't say something that I don't remember. Like, if I don't remember that it actually got registered, then I cannot tell you that you did it because there's no proof.
Yeah, but you are saying that I never did it, which how do you have no proof for that either. So you could just be like,
well,
okay,
that's what I'm saying.
Maybe you did.
It's my word against yours, so it's immediately dismissible in court.
Oh God. Do the intro.
Yeah. Oh, fuck me. It's this time again. We're back with this stuff here. With me, Shalama underscore, and my co-host Anca Stasia. That's how you find us on the Twitches and maybe on the YouTubes. And We're here.
Yeah, we're
For better or
barely
for
here.
worse. It's way too hot. My brain is gone. Yeah.
Yeah, and just to give context, because people will not hear what we yammered this entire time up to this moment. We decided we're calling this the Shalancast. No, I'm kidding. We're not
did?
calling this anything yet. But maybe
Oh.
Shalancast.
Well, you know how it
Shalancast.
works. How you know how these things work. Like
Shalank pod.
if you ever have like a thing in school or at work, where they're like, "Oh, we're looking for ideas to plan this thing. If you have anything, and then someone jokingly says this kind of stupid thing, but nobody else has any ideas, so you never expect it, but for some reason they run with your stupid idea. That's how this is going to be end up called Shalancast.
Yeah, either it was gonna be Shalancast because that's like the easiest option we have at this point, that some dumb brain pushed out, or we're gonna go with the rank and shameful. But that needs a bit more polish, I would say.
Jesus, yeah, that needs a bit more polish. That's true. Yeah, I don't know. There's a bunch of things we've proposed in the past that I have no documentation of, so I have literally no clue what ideas were there.
Well, I have a card in our Trello board that literally is called podcast name ideas, so you can always take a look at that. We actually have a Trello board for our podcast.
I don't see that.
It's under topics.
Oh, yeah. I'm still partial to literally prints.
Yeah. No, we're not. We're not doing that one though. But welcome, Shalama.
Oh wow, thanks. Welcome.
Yeah,
welcome. No, you're welcome.
No, you.
No, you're welcome.
Nuh-uh. You are welcome.
But you're welcome.
Why you little? I'll show you who's welcome.
You want to know who's welcome?
Who?
Give me a sec. Hans Niemann to having someone take the rumor about him using a vibrating butt plug to cheat at chess, taking that rumor and making it a reality.
Why is his name
welcome to
Hans Nobody?
That's not what that means in German.
It's Hans Neverman.
Yeah, it's more closer to Neverman, but it's a very common German last name.
Good that it's so common. I was not aware of it, but you're saying, is this one of your topics for today? We're gonna talk about how this guy has been rumored to cheat in chess by using a butt plug.
Oh no, that's old news. Everybody knows about that.
Everybody?
Well, I just thought I'd come like running hot on my heels right out the gate, because that was like an hour-long wind-up for the podcast, I feel like.
Yeah, we did have a very long wind-up, but I just wonder why you think this guy is welcome with his butt plug among us.
Why did you have to put all those buzzwords in there? Well, it turns out... Well, let me, I guess, fine, I'll give a bit of background. This is like a year ago, almost exactly a year ago, that there was a chess tournament, the Sinkfield Cup. It's written SINQUE Field Cup. I don't know how you pronounce that, but there was a part of the Grand Chess Tour or something, like grandmasters were playing. And Hans Niemann is already has a reputation, already has been around in this chess scene for a while, but has previously admitted to cheating. So people are kind of sus of him at times because he's already been basically caught cheating or has admitted to cheating in like online tournament stuff or whatever. And he played Magnus Carlsen, big name in chess, probably the biggest name in chess, I suppose. And in the middle of the match, Magnus Carlsen just was like, he leaves. He just admitted defeat, basically, as far as I remember, in the middle of the match.
Mm-hmm.
And then was interviewed and said some weird cryptic stuff about this is all I can say, and something about didn't feel right or whatever. I don't know. If you want the proper news, you got to look it up. There's more to this probably. But people looked into the footage and looked at like the face of Hans Niemann and everything, and for some reason, the speculation developed that he was cheating, because that's the insinuation, is Magnus Carlsen was sure he was cheating, but he couldn't say how for some reason. And Niemann wasn't able to explain his moves properly either for some reason. And people were supposing that they found out how he must have cheated. He must have had like a Bluetooth butt plug that someone remote controlled to give him the best moves possible to do with like Morse code.
Wow.
Yeah. And the reason this came up like 1 year later is because a few days ago I sat in bed at night or in the morning, as you do. I was looking at social media and randomly saw a post that I didn't save, sadly. So I had a hard time finding it again, meaning I didn't really find it, where someone was at some kind of like tech convention where people were doing creative like programming solutions and stuff. And someone had actually engineered software that you can link up to a butt plug to get like chess bot instructions to win a match.
Oh my God.
And they called it ass chess.
Oh wow. So people, but was it ever conclusive whether or not Hans cheated?
No, I don't think it was ever found out, because it's how would you even prove that?
I don't know.
As soon as he left the venue, it's impossible to prove that there was ever anything in his butt. And how do you find that out without hurting his rights?
I mean, I guess it would have had to be like he would have had to be scanned going in.
Yeah. I guess do like an airport security scan. I don't know if they'll detect stuff like that.
They might detect some electronics up your ass. Yeah.
Yeah. Do those weird 3D scans detect stuff up your butt? Write in. Why don't you write in in the comments if this ever makes it?
I mean, what is the point of those scans if they're not going to detect electronics up your ass?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, they do random searches despite scans as well. I've seen that, like, if there's like a code on tickets, at least in the US, and if you have 4 S's on it, supposedly you're going to be picked to be searched. And I don't know if that's true, if that's really true, that's how that works. But people are posting a lot that, I have the 4 S's on my ticket. Oh no, I will get full body searched.
I don't know about that. But I like the fact that people basically went and actually did the thing that they were accusing this guy of. Like now they're actually creating the product for cheating in chess.
SSSS actually does mean secondary security screening selection. And if it's on your ticket, you're screwed basically, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, what do you know?
Yeah, and allegedly it's random. I don't know. It all has to do with where you come from and where you're going. But yeah. And I did actually find a website called Ask Chess. I don't know how it works. I assume that might actually be the website of this person that had presented the thing. It's called askchess.com. The symbol is clearly like a chess symbol that looks like a butt plug. And it allows you to connect a device somehow, but there's no description of how this actually works. So I assume that just this person used it.
Yeah, I can't even find this website.
It's literally just askchess.com.
Yeah, but if I Google ask chess, I can't.
Well, you cannot Google it, I think.
Okay, yeah. I see. It is the askchess.com.
You can have a device and then you can link an engine to resolve the moves, I believe, basically. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Which you've been playing Final Fantasy XIV recently, right?
A bit.
And there's a launcher that you can get that allows you to use plugins, like third-party plugins that are not strictly supported. And I remember when I started playing again a few years ago, and the first time I used those plugins, there were, I don't know why, there was a plugin that you can install that lets you link Bluetooth devices that vibrate. And after looking at the library for plugins in the description, it was clear why they made that.
Are you saying that those were supposed to control people's butt plugs?
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, first of all, How do you even have a butt plug that can be remote controlled like that?
I don't know.
Do they just
I
sell Bluetooth butt plugs?
I found the GitHub for it. It's AKA Tamagotchi, and is that the person that made it? I guess no. It's made by a person called Digital Pet, and the GitHub is called Ether Sense Redux. Turn your Warrior of Light into the Warrior of Butt with regx powered real-time log parsing. Configure custom vibration patterns for game controllers, Bluetooth-enabled sex toys, and more.
Oh my god.
So you can link anything that happens that gets passed from the logs in the game to vibrations on controllers, device, and all kinds of Bluetooth devices, apparently.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I can understand if it's like about your controller vibrating, but it's also meant to be used if you just have a freaking Bluetooth vibrator.
Yeah, anything.
Like people do this.
I don't know if people actually do this, but I mean they've maintained this for a while. There's like 2 years ago it was the last commit though. There's people have reported issues on it.
I'm searching Bluetooth butt plug now. I mean, you can find stuff like that, yeah.
There's like 5 forks of this too. I don't know, I'm pretty sure at least one person has used this. Someone asked that they should implement the sine wave pattern, I believe.
Great.
Yeah. I mean, there's something for everything. This feels like something easy to program, though. Like in my mind, this feels like you tell it what to use and then tell it what to do. And that should be fairly easy. Like make a vibration motor go on and off. That seems like super easy.
Yeah, well, I think that I would just not like I would just wonder if the butt plugs, right? The butt plug manufacturers have created an API for controlling the butt plug. That is, or
API.
yeah. Oh my god! But you know, you have to interface. Like clearly, this software interfaces with the hardware, and it has to kind of like have the same kind of coding in some sense.
Well,
Like,
I mean, all it needs is like if there's remote controlled vibrating toys and controllers, right? Then it's not far fetched that some of them would be controlled by a phone app.
yeah, I mean, obviously, like I'm looking at this one on Amazon, which is app controlled Bluetooth butt plug. I'm literally looking at it.
Well, thank you for clarifying. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, just in case you had doubts. Just hour-long comforts.
Comforts. Oh.
Yeah, comfort. Hour-long comfort.
Yeah, that's the first thing I think of when I think of sex toys is comfort. You know,
yeah.
like those magic wands you use to loosen your shoulder tension. You know, that's what they're there for.
Yeah, they just provide your muscles a nice massage. But yeah, so they have apps that control these things, and I guess I would just wonder how these like Final Fantasy plugins are programmed so they can interface with the same kind of thing. But
I suppose you need a Bluetooth dongle and then you just need to connect it the same way the phone would. I guess you spoof the app for it or something.
Yeah, I have no idea. That's why I'm like, yeah, does this really work? And then I can see people being curious of does this really work, and then they just like investigate and they try to make it work.
People probably wrote open source sex toy software somewhere as well.
Yeah, that's what I would wonder. Is there an open source sex toy software standard?
I don't know. I guess they would use.
So all our games could do that, you know?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, if you develop something, right, you want to do the least effort. So maybe they just used something that already existed and just appropriated it to their device. So it doesn't even have to have been a sex toy in the first place. You know, maybe they appropriated it from controllers from game consoles or something.
Yeah, I mean that would make sense.
Like Steam supports controllers and adapts them to games. So Steam must have something in it to get the right inputs to controllers as well.
Yeah, and therefore that sounds like Steam could just control your butt plug pretty easily.
I'm sure there's workshop mods for some games that do that too. Yeah. Probably Skyrim would be the first that I would suspect to have something like this.
Vibrator control Steam games.
Yeah, if your character Fußrodas in the game, you Fußroda in your butt.
Excuse me? Damn it. I'm Googling stuff with vibrator control Steam games, and I see a few results on Google that no longer exists on the Steam store, which is unfortunate. There was Vibrator Simulator, no longer there. There was iVibrate Ultimate Edition, also no longer on the store. Buzz Controller on Steam. That actually exists, but that seems to be for controllers. Simple program that allows you to turn on vibration on your gamepad and keeps it on even when you minimize the window in case you need your gamepad to vibrate for whatever reason.
Yeah, that seems sus though. That's the same like all the visual novels that are not adult themed, but you can download patches to make them uncensored because they don't want to sell a game that on Steam that needs to be like graded a certain way. At least in the past, that used to be a way they got away with it, because I think Steam used to be more, they might still be more policing of games like that are clearly just made to look at naked stuff, not just for gameplay. That's mostly just for pleasure or whatever. So it's possible that you still cannot release a game like that easily.
So you have to route your customers to somewhere else where they can download the erotic DLC.
Yeah, like I guess also like if it's I mean, I know of patches like that because in Germany games used to be heavily censored, right? We would have get green blood, no dismemberment, corpses wouldn't stay. And when you play a zombie game, it kind of would be really silly because the zombies like don't dismember and Left 4 Dead 2 in the German version, and then they have green blood. And you basically need to mod it into being the base normal experience, stuff like that.
So you used to be able to download patches for these games?
Well, you can mod Left 4 Dead 2, so you can easily make it whatever you want. So,
okay.
But if I remember correctly, the German version was heavily censored because back then Germany still had high censorship on violence in video games. Yeah. Sex stuff is fine, though. You know, it's the opposite of the US. Violence, that's cool. Nudity, Jesus. Oh, no. Please. Prison. For you. No neckies.
No neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, anyways.
Yeah, that's my topic.
Just so you know, the bzz controller on Steam does have the sinus function.
Yeah, great. That's not sus at all.
Yeah, well, I've got a topic about, because this was brought up yesterday on my stream, and I said I would maybe read about it, and I did. I did go and I read about Grady the Cow.
Who?
Grady the Cow. That is a cow that got stuck in a silo in Yukon, Oklahoma in 1949.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and I mean, wow. It's not like a mega fascinating thing, but I thought, well, it's still kind of weird however the fuck the cow got stuck in there and how they got her out. So,
well, tell us.
So it starts really sad because the cow got freaked out. Basically, like the cow was giving birth. It was a stillborn calf, apparently, it says in the wiki, which is sad, you know. And she was having trouble giving birth. They tied her up so that the veterinarian could like take care of the cow. And the cow obviously was freaked the fuck out. So as soon as she was untied after the whole ordeal, she fucking ran off. And apparently she ran off towards the entrance, like this little silo, like door thing that was really fucking tiny. Like, I do not understand. I converted the inches to centimeters. And I do not understand how a cow that's like, it says the cow was like half a ton. And this cow fit in through an opening that was like 45 by 60 centimeters.
I'm getting out my measuring tape.
Yeah, get out your measuring tape. Actually, it says 17 inches wide and 25.5 inches high. That doesn't sound like a cow should fit through there.
Barely a person fits through that. Like,
Yes.
my shoulders are wider than that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, how? That
I
cow
don't
must
know.
have gone at such speed towards that opening that it just
Yes.
kind of like fucking slammed itself in there. It squashed
Maybe it was
itself
covered
through.
in Vaseline and oil
No,
and
it
just
was
more
covered
butter.
in those things when it came out, actually.
What? They did get it out.
Yeah, they did get it out. Like the cow lived for another 12 years after the rescue operation.
Wow.
So, but there, like the cow was stuck in there for like 4 days.
Just like when a cat pokes its or a dog pokes their head through a banister, and for some reason they manage to get it through, but they don't manage to get it out again. So you have to loop up the head to pull them out for some reason. I've seen that happen. I've never had to do that with a cat, but yeah, I've seen that. I've seen videos of cats not being very smart about that and doing that.
Yeah, at least with cats, you kind of feel like yeah, they their bodies are more flexible and they can kind of squeeze through really tiny spaces. But with a cow, I didn't think that they were very elastic.
Mhm.
So this is the thing. They were freaking out how to get the cow out because they didn't really want to like lose the cow, which apparently was worth over $1,000.
The cow.
The cow, yeah.
Cows are not cheap, yeah.
Yeah.
Weirdly. It's I mean, no, not weirdly because it's alive, but the way that basically cows get handled and their meat gets handled just doesn't feel like it's that valuable to anybody.
Yeah, but I guess like maybe this was a farm that was like
I guess a cow's a lot of meat though, and
and
potentially
it
also a lot of
produces
milk.
milk
Yeah,
and it can
true.
produce offspring. Like, you can gain things from a cow.
Yeah, true. I guess I don't have a concept for how much a cow is valued for.
I mean, this is also like 70 years ago.
Oh yeah, okay. That probably changed quite a bit then. In Germany, it's so heavily subsidized that sometimes there were stories because they had too many cows to get the best subsidies, they would just get rid of a bunch of cows.
Oh no, man.
Yeah, like there's farmers don't deserve a lot of compassion from people sometimes, you know. I mean often, actually. It's like livestock farmers. It's like, yeah, you know, they're also kind of unethical millionaires, a lot of them.
Yeah, I should become a vegan. Still eat
That's tough.
cheese.
Yeah, who can put off cheese?
Yeah, but I don't want to make cows have a really tough life.
Yeah, but cheese.
Cheese though, yeah. But so, let me tell you how this cow came out. Do you cuz this person, his name was Bill Mach. He was like asking for help to get the cow out of the silo in the local newspaper and it says him and his brother got 5,400 letters and 700 telegrams for people from 45 states and Canada and Germany.
How do we even surely they didn't read all of that.
I don't know if they read all of that. Probably not. But like, why did they even get telegrams from all the way in Germany?
I don't know. When was this again? 70 years ago?
Yeah, in 1949.
How did that news travel?
I don't know.
That is
I guess through telegrams and shit, but like it's spread super far. He was featured in Lifetime and newspapers all over the country for this shit.
how is that news that anybody in Europe needs to know though?
I
At
don't
that
know.
time in history. Why does anybody that's so bizarre. That's the most bizarre thing to me. It's like some people in Germany are like, well, there's a cow in America.
Yeah, and it's stuck in a tight spot. How are we going to rescue
Yeah.
this cow all the way in America?
Yeah, not concerned about like, yeah, we are like basically at the tail end or like the end of a war that destroyed most of our country. But I'm gonna write the mail for gonna write mail for a cow in America.
Well, maybe they need a distraction from the horrors of World War II that had just ended.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it was American soldiers stationed in Germany that
Maybe.
sent that though. That would be a more believable explanation to me.
Yeah. Well, so let's see. Let's brainstorm. How would you think to get a cow out of like a thing that's kind of tall? Like you have
Yeah.
You have to extract the cow out of this thing.
Well, I'm glad you asked. I don't really know. Yeah, no, I have a few options that are immediately coming to mind. Take the top off, use a giant crane, helicopter, get the cow out.
Yeah, so one of the suggestions they got for rescuing the cow was indeed a helicopter, but they didn't have this nearby. It was in Texas, so it was like too much of a hassle to bring it over.
How fast did they need the cow to get out of there, though?
I don't know. I mean, the thing is that I imagine that they could have kept feeding the cow, you know?
Yeah. Like if a person can fit in there somehow.
There's a picture of this cow stuck in there that I've found linked in the Wikipedia, and it kind of seems like there's grass in there. Like, I think the cow could actually keep eating.
That doesn't really seem like a bit of an emergency. You can also make the hole bigger and repair it after. You could get in there and lube up the cow.
The thing is that the silo was made of steel,
so
they didn't want to enlarge the hole in it because it would have kind of ruined the construction.
I could have welded it together again, I guess.
Well, yeah, I suppose, but they didn't want to do that. But some people suggested tunneling under the silo, which I guess is kind of
ridiculous. That seems
ridiculous.
Sorry.
Well, wait, when you hear
that's so much effort. Tunneling is so much harder to do than because the machinery and then the structure needs to be held up properly.
Yeah, that's true. That does sound ridiculous. But the other solutions sound even more ridiculous to me, to be honest, because there was also rigging a pole to swing her out the top.
What? Swing?
Honestly, I don't get if this is like they're saying that they were trying to put the cow on like a ledge and use like the leverage force to like pop her out of the silo.
That sounds like silos are really tall.
Yeah, I don't really understand what rigging a pole to swing the cow out of the top of the silo exactly means in like physics terms.
Yeah, I don't really understand how they would have done. Also, I'm looking at the article, but I don't see images. I hate how...
I think maybe they would have just like put the cow on a swing and made the swing go up. I'm not sure, honestly. But there was that solution, and then there was bringing an attractive bull to the opening to lure her out.
What? Really?
Yeah. That sounds so fucking stupid.
I'm struggling to find any images of this. The only thing I found is that they tore the landmark down, which was the silo.
Yeah, they did. Well, I can link in chat. There's this image from Life magazine, which shows the cow in there.
It's just hay in there.
There's a lot of hay. They put down some buckets in there too, it looks like. Probably to have water for the cow. I
mean, the cow doesn't look that much wider than the hole. I think it's more like, how do you get a cow to do that?
The thing is, I can't really see the hole properly in this picture.
In the top side, it's like there's a lighter area in the wall, basically. And the cow isn't super wide. I guess the belly is kind of the widest part. I don't know.
The cow is not super wide. I guess, I think 25 and a half, like still 17 inches is like 40 something.
Mm-hmm.
It's 43 centimeters. It still sounds like the door is too small for a cow, but sure.
She got in.
She got in by propelling herself super hard. But anyways, the final solution was that they made a ramp somehow to put the cow on, and they coated the ramp and the opening, like the silo door thing, with axle grease.
So they slid the cow out the hole.
Yeah. They also smeared the cow with axle grease. And they put some like they tied some stuff around her. They milked her.
It basically was like birthing a calf, just pulling at the legs, probably.
Yeah, but they also milked her to make her, less thick.
I'm not sure how that works. I don't really know how much that helps. It's not like the milk is stored in the belly.
I don't know. They still did that just in case.
Yeah, I bet someone was like, "Oh boy, why do we get the milk out?" Fine, I might as well do it. Doesn't
Yeah, they
hurt.
also tranquilized her.
That probably helped more.
Yeah.
That's probably did more than the milking.
True. True. And then they just kind of like pushed and pulled her and slid her through. Yeah, and she was fine. Yeah, maybe they were worried about losing the milk.
Wow, that's the priorities in there.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, and I don't know, like people kept visiting the place after this just to see the famous cow. She was kind of a landmark in Oklahoma. It's so weird.
I mean, when in some parts, of the countryside, I'm sure there's so little going on that something like this easily becomes a spectacle. There's a lot of stories like that, probably also in Germany and all around, of some minor celebrity, something bizarre.
Yeah, I just love what silly ideas they came up with, like freaking putting her on a swing or making her be lured out by an attractive bull.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. That is pretty funny. That is, and also so stupid. It kind of really just feels, yeah, it's not surprising in a way. Yeah.
No, it's just, I mean, this is a much more like positive and well, like the way this turned out was much nicer and more wholesome than the story that will remain with me for life, which is the freaking this internet historian video about the guy who got
Oh
trapped in the
no,
freaking
not the
cave.
flippin' hole. You know what's worse about that video? That kicked off a whole thing about internet historians' content, where people were comparing and finding out that apparently most of the story in the whole was taken like word by word from a news story that someone wrote about that incident.
Oh,
And uh, I don't really know how true any of that is because nothing really ever came out of that. But the video got taken down and re-uploaded, I believe, and there's accreditation in it as well. But since then, there's been a lot of like speculation and people trying to say that a lot of his videos, or at least some of them, are just stolen content. He
mm.
still puts them to like motion picture basically with a lot of effort, but I'm not really sure. Yeah, there was like this H Bomber guy did a video, which I don't know. I not sure if I agree with how H Bomber guy looks at things either. I don't know, but I do not know if there's like anything serious about that. There's also a lot of stuff that we don't know, because of stuff happens behind the scenes, agreements and stuff. But it's just kind of disappeared. It was never addressed in any way.
Wait, which bit was not properly
Internet
addressed?
historian never said anything about it. Not a single thing, as far as I can tell.
Hmm.
And people on his videos, some people bring it up, but barely anybody talks about it. I don't know. It just kind of disappeared. But it was a topic for a bit.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe the internet historian just wanted to let things roll under
Yeah, I
the
mean that's
bridge,
yeah,
water under the
like
bridge, you know?
a PR strategy to just ignore it, basically. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's also possible. I don't know. I mean, the story still had a lot more reach in that format. It's possible they still asked the author for credit to make it. I don't even know if the author themselves ever got into the whole topic at all. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Uh,
when you present topics, it's always good to indicate your sources. It's just like, I can't imagine just also how much hassle it is to try to do that.
oh,
But
there's this. I don't know, remember if it was the H bomber guy as well, but I also saw a bunch of other cases. There's like some Illuminati-ish creator on YouTube. She does videos about like conspiracy theories and other stories. And she legitimately verbatim rips off other people's work and then just regurgitates it. She just reads out people's posts from places as well and
yeah,
acts like they are
that's
written by her.
pretty fucked, I guess.
Yeah. And she has a big channel and it's pretty successful as far as I remember. And yeah, I don't want to say a name because I also don't want to inflame anything more. But yeah, there's people that just make careers out of that. and get away with it somehow.
Mm.
I mean, Sniper Wolf was probably the biggest offender recently, like last year, I think, who legit just made the laziest React content ever and then was alleged to steal her entire identity, demeanor, and everything from a different creator that was way smaller. That was crazy.
Wait, so what content was the...
Sniper Wolf, who is like a massive YouTube person. She just does React content.
Mm-hmm.
And Jack's Films got it into a whole thing exposing how she steals content and everything. And it was a massive drama thing for a bit. And it caused a lot of trouble for her, thankfully, because she actually did end up like, she went to his house and doxed him on
Jesus.
Instagram.
Oh, yeah,
live.
it was the same person. Because I heard about the weird doxing.
Yeah, that was really demented. Like going outside his house, be like, "Yeah, I'm outside your house. Why don't you come out?" And I'm filming this and showing this to my millions of followers. What do you think you're doing, you idiot? What are you doing? So crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty irresponsible, thoughtless behavior.
Yeah. Ugh. But anyway, my brain is so melted.
Yeah,
I'm glad I got the cow out 70 years ago.
Yeah, I'm glad too.
Yes. It's been a while.
I have another topic, but this is more like, it's not really a topic, it's more like something that's on my mind this week that I'm mulling over, which is...
Yeah.
I've been going back to, like, I don't know, topics of like meditation and stuff, because I always kind of feel shit to some extent throughout the day, you know, like I get a lot of like this feeling of just being exhausted all the time. I get, you know, I'm kind of grumpy about everything to some extent. And there are people online writing that they were also in states like that, and they did a lot of, you know, work on themselves, and they did a lot of, I don't know, reframing their minds.
That sounds like just being like German or British to me.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's not a good way to be, you know? No offense to the Germans or the Brits. But yeah, so I was just looking at starting small and doing what they call loving kindness meditation.
Oh, is it just like mindfulness or what they call that?
Well, yeah, it's a type of like mindfulness. Basically, it's pretty simple. And I found that there's a bunch of people just doing these guided meditation videos. You just literally envision some person or like several people throughout this guided meditation that you, I don't know, have a very good relationship to, that you love very much and they love you very much or something. And you try to visualize them, and you repeat some phrases about how you wish them to have a happy and peaceful life, and to be healthy, and to live, you know, well. And you also wish that to yourself. It's kind of like it's supposed to just make you feel more empathetic and connected. And there was this list of benefits that I found on like Psychology Today, I think it was. I posted this in my server too. This psychologist who actually kind of looked at a bunch of studies about how this actually improves a bunch of things. 18 science-backed reasons to try loving kindness meditation by Emma Sipala, PhD. I cannot read her name properly, but I don't know. This article claims it increases positive emotions and vagal tone, which apparently is a thing. Vagal tone. The vagus nerve is like one of the nerves in your kind of like neck that passes through your neck, and it kind of connects to your parasympathetic system, I think. And it's like, I don't know how that nerve performs, kind of is like an indicator for how well, like, of your well-being, because I think it's connected to your gut and stuff, and there's always this connection between your brain and your gut, right? Like I think that was a thing that people, like, there's a correlation between gut problems and depression or something like that.
Yeah, there is definitely a link to gut biome and mental health. as well as gum health as well, supposedly. Overall health, though, with gum health. I mean, both really, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So apparently there's a correlation between vagal tone and positive emotions. And then there's also apparently a study about decreasing in migraines and chronic pain and PTSD and like increasing your gray matter volume. I don't know, slows biological aging, makes you a more helpful person, increases compassion, empathy, and social connection, and decreases your bias towards others, curbs self-criticism.
It makes
It's
sense
sounds pretty helpful.
Less stress, less misery makes you live longer. I mean, that's not a secret, I think. It's just that, people don't live to alleviate those things. They be like, I'm such a kind of loving person as long as you're Christian and straight,
Yeah, but with this thing, you're just focusing on actually just wishing somebody else well and wishing yourself well, and it's not about going further than that.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, it still doesn't address like other sources of anger and stress and stuff, I guess.
No, I think it's just like you do this 5 minutes a day just to help with everything else that you do, obviously. But I think I just want to try to do this more often. Like I've started doing this, like when I'm in the train on a commute or something, I could listen to a podcast, but I could still also sit there for 5 minutes and do one of these guided things. And it's not terrible, It feels kind of nice.
Kind of reminds me of like yoga meditation stuff that I used to do, but that was more like head empty, like aimed directly to be head empty, kind of.
Yeah, there's just a lot of other ways to do meditation. Yeah. I'm trying to not just assume that or to focus on doing the head empty ones, because those get really boring. I cannot stick to them.
I used to do them in the gym between sets sometimes because it would help me have more energy when lifting, because it clears my mind and there's like I'm more oxygenated in my blood because it's long breathing. So it's beyond the meditation part that is supposedly for your brain. It's also like a thing of oxygenating your blood and your muscles and making it easier to exhaust yourself like safely.
So you did like breathing also?
Yeah, like in between sets, just close your eyes, do like deep breaths and stuff to like calm your pulse and make sure you have a good rest in between like heavy sets or something. I've stopped doing that, but while I did it like before the pandemic, basically, there was a time where I couldn't go to the gym for a long time. That's basically how I did it. And it did help, I think. I feel like the biggest thing that would help me right now is doing more cardio, though, beyond anything. Like, that would be the most important bit I could do, probably, for my brain.
Why do you think so?
Because I just need I know how it feels, basically, but I also have a really hard time committing to cardio. If I have to travel somewhere with my bike, I get cardio depending on how long the travel time is. And it helps. Like, it grounds me. Going to the gym also grounds me, but heart health and everything is also important. And cardio, lifting weights helps my brain, but cardio helps in a different way. Like it has a longer lasting balancing effect, I think, if you do it for a longer time. Simply also because your blood pressure becomes better, I think, probably. Helps with stress. Oops. Yeah.
Yeah, I also feel better this week for the simple reason that I walked around more. So I think that is pretty important, but yeah, kind of hard to get in routines like that.
Stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, well, I guess that's the note we can end on. Take care of yourself, I guess.
Yeah, try to do a little loving kindness moment. Try to do go for a run or for
just a walk. Start out slow. Just go outside into nature. If it's not too hot, do it at night. Just before bed or something. Doing a walk helps a lot with sleeping, supposedly. That can help. I don't know.
You gotta look out for yourself.
Don't cycle too late, because on Sunday I worked till like 11 p.m. and I cycled home and I couldn't sleep because I was too exhausted cycling at 10
you
kilometers.
worked yourself up too much.
Yeah. And if you exercise too high, too heavy, too late, and too close to for your bedtime, that's really bad. Yeah, because it's just bad.
All right, Shalom.
All right. Hopefully next week we have less heat and more brain power.
Hmm.
But nice talking to you. Thanks for
Likewise.
listening. Catch us on the places that are eventually linked down below on this video when it comes out when you're listening to this. Yeah. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye bye.